I'm Amanda, and this is Not Your Granny's Quilt Show. Hello, welcome to today's episode. I'm so happy that you're here. I've got a really cool guest for you. Chris English is a textile artist, quilter, all around crafty, creative, artistic guy. He's got some really cool stuff coming down the pipeline. So I'm stoked for you guys to get to meet him in this episode. And if you already know of him, then this will be fun for you because you already know him and know what a good time he is and how much awesome stuff he's got up in that brain of his. So we talked about how he got into the textile world, how he loves to use recycled fabrics, loves to get things from the thrift shops to use in his quilting, how he loves contrast and just the punk rockness of it all. Screen printing, he's taking the paint to print course with Sarah Watts right now, which I think is so cool because you know how much we love Sarah Watts around here. And he also has a thread collaboration with Aurifil. He's got two. His first one is called Street Art, and it's a collection of, colors of the thread that he loves a lot and uses a lot in his work. And then his second one is a collaboration with Sally Kelley, who also designs a lot for Liberty Fabrics, and he loves Liberty as well. And so it's Sally Kelley, Chris English, and they have their Aurifil collection, and it's stunning. I'm so excited to try to get my hands on one because I just love their vision that came together and how beautiful all the colors are. So anyway, and then there's an opportunity hopefully coming up that we can take a class from him on his Instagram, having to do with applying fabric to a Christmas bauble. And we talk about that. So anyway, it's just so exciting. And we had such a fun conversation. So I'm really excited for you guys to listen to it. And if you're listening, go check it out on the YouTube because he shows a lot of stuff. He shows some of his sketchbook. He shows some of his quilts. He shows some of his screen printed fabrics. So if you want to see those things visually, then I suggest you hop on over to the YouTube and check it out. And let's just get into it. Hi, Chris. How are you?
Hi, Amanda. I'm very well, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. Hanging in there.
Good.
Trying not to, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't want to talk about that. Okay. Well, welcome to the show. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, I went fuzzy. There we go.
Oh, you're back.
My camera has that like autofocus thing. So if I move just in the weird, like
Oh,
the
okay.
slightest way it doesn't like, it's like, whoop, can't see you. I'm like, okay, well, I'm here, but that's fine. Anyway, well, I'm so glad you're here. I have loved seeing your work and getting to know, your work, what you do
Yeah.
and what you put out there. But I'm so excited to chat with you today because we've never actually chatted before. So this will be
No. Well, thank you so much for having me as well. It's really nice to be on the show.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm excited. So you're a quilter, artist, you use recycle fabrics, you update fabrics, you've been screen printing a lot
Yeah.
lately, which I love. I
Yeah.
love your Sabrina sweatshirt. I was like, oh my God, I need one of those. It's so cute. But yeah, so before we get into all that, like how did you get into sewing and quilting in the first place?
Yeah. So that's a really good question, and it's one that particularly recently I've been reflecting on quite a bit. So it dawned on me the other day because I'm old now. I'm 51 now, and it dawned on me the other day that at high school, at about 15 or 16, my art teacher at the time, I was doing drawing and paint and whatever, and then one day he showed me screen printing, and I remembered that he and I we actually screen printed some fabric onto just like calico using just acrylic paint, I think, and I had this length of fabric, and again, he helped me make it into a pair of like board shorts or surfing shorts, if you will.
Yeah.
And and it dawned on me, it's so strange that what is that, like 35 years later, it's come full circle, and I'm getting back into screen printing and doing fabric. So it's something that I'm obviously interested in, and it's stuck with me for that length of time. So that is kind of my first textile art based thing. And I suppose since then, so I went to college to do textiles and then to university, and I did printed textile design at university. But
Okay.
I went to Liverpool, which is a wonderful city. When I went, I was too young, right? I was 18 or 19, and I was more
Mm.
interested in the social side of things. And then Liverpool, the course I did at Liverpool was quite what's the word, liberal, I suppose, and quite arts based. And I came out of university having had 3 fun years of drawing and painting all day.
Mhm.
And then I was very naive, and it surprised me that nobody would give me an actual job drawing and painting all day. So I was very naive, very innocent, but I had a great time. So life kind of started to happen, and it kind of dawned on me that I needed to get to become employable. So I
Mm.
went back a few years later. I went back to university and I did web design, which was at the time the thing to do. So it was very commercially focused, and that's what I ended up doing, getting a job doing web design, because I could use a bit of Photoshop, and on the surface of it, it was quite creative, but it wasn't really.
Mhm.
So I did that, but all the time I'd always maintained an interest in textiles and art and design and fashion and all sorts of stuff. And I suppose it had simmered below the surface. I'd always gone to exhibitions, and I'd always, like, whenever I went to whenever I was traveling somewhere, I'd always go and see what was on and take a real interest in that. And I had different hobbies that I suppose um, related to that. But then I found the Liberty Book of Home Sewing, right? And it's this,
Mhm.
I've always loved Liberty fabric
Mhm.
to a degree. And this
Yeah.
Liberty Book of Home Sewing had these different projects in, and one of them was this like super simple brick pattern quilt. So I was like, right, I'm going to have a go at this. I'm going to make this.
Yeah.
And I bought all the Liberty fabric because I thought that's what you had to do. And I bought it and I pieced it, and I loved it because I was able to finish a project completely. I think with previous hobbies, I'd got so far and I wasn't either satisfied with the results, or I didn't think it wasn't quite what I wanted. But with this quilt, I machine quilt. I think I machine quilted it just in the ditch, right? But I
Mm.
bound it, and the corners weren't corners. They kind of went. I used that, the bias tape you can buy ready
Yeah.
made. I just
Mhm.
used that, and I kind of just did a round sort of corner, so it wasn't
Oh, yeah.
properly. It was very kind of. It was very rubbish, really. But I loved it. But I loved that I ended up with a finished object, which was amazing. And then after that, it soon dawned on me, and I think this is partly down to my art school background, that I didn't have to use Liberty fabric. I could use any fabric.
Yeah.
And Liberty fabric is obviously expensive. So that was my first quilt I made. And that was probably about, what we're in 2025. So probably about 8 or 9 years ago now.
Mm. Okay.
So whilst I've been actually quilting for a relatively short period of time, and this is quite a long answer.
Mm.
I've really had an interest in textiles and print and everything for 30 odd years.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, it's all starting to come back round from that moment at high school. And the other thing is, I love flea markets and charity shops. Goodwill stores,
Mhm.
and I love finding new fabrics. So it was, for me, I was able to combine a load of my hobbies into one thing that now produces something that I love and that gets used. So, my
Yeah.
son he's got tons of quilts that I've made for him and all
Yeah.
sorts of stuff. So, yeah, that's kind of how I got into quilting in a roundabout
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. No, I love that because I think, we hear all these stories from different people, and it's like we all have our own meandering, wandering journey into where we're at now with quilting and whatever that looks like. And there's so many interesting ways to get there. And sometimes we don't
Yeah.
realize it's a thing we love until we know, it's like there's just that one
Yeah.
pivotal moment that changes everything. And so it's interesting that textile's always been there. And I didn't start quilting till about 8 years ago either. So
Okay.
even though I've been all around sewing and fabric my whole life, because my mom's a sewist and she's always
Right.
been sewing. She would make clothing for me and dresses. And, she made some of my formal wear for the high school dances. And
Oh
she,
wow.
curtains for our house and always
Yeah.
changing out the pillow covers. She's always making something. And um, so it's always been around, but I didn't pick it up until later in life. And she was like, "Oh, now you're gonna sew?" I'm like, "Yeah, welcome. Let's do this together." She's like, "Okay, fine." Um,
That's
but
funny.
it all finds us in different stages. And
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's been there in the background and sometimes come to the surface for a long time. So even when I was choosing like what shirts and stuff for work, 'cause I used to have a corporate job, right?
right.
And I used to always choose quite bright stripes and stuff. I was always, I suppose, subconsciously drawn to. I had the odd plain blue and plain pink one, but never white. I mean, that was just boring. So I
Yeah.
always went for like a funky color or something with a stripe, and
Yeah.
and even with when I play football on a Wednesday evening, I've always got like a bright football shirt that I wear.
Yeah.
It's got like a pattern on it or something, and people are like, yeah, they kind of knew that that's what I would be wearing.
Yeah. That's your
So yeah,
thing. That's
I've definitely got a love for pattern and
yeah.
print, absolutely.
Yeah. That's so good. That's so good. And I think it's fun that you've always kept that in your life and kept that at the forefront. Like, I'm not going to hide this thing that I love, because I think so many
Yeah,
people are afraid to stand out or be perceived. And so they do try to blend in and they do pick the boring white shirt versus the one with avocados all over it, or
yeah, yeah,
it's
exactly. Oh, it was when my son he's 21 now, but when he
mm,
first started at high school, I was like, and high school, oh, that was traumatic, right? When he went there because he changed from, well, he didn't really change, but I think lots of kids that go from being quite innocent to suddenly overnight becoming a
yeah.
professional teenager.
Oh yeah.
And he said to me one day he just wanted to be normal and blend in. And I was devastated. But he's back now, so it's fine. It was
Okay,
just
good.
some
Yeah.
tough years at high school, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of those things.
Yeah.
There is definitely a pressure to conform, particularly, I don't know, maybe I can't really speak on anyone else's part, but certainly from a male perspective, there's um, a kind of pressure to conform and just be part of the crowd, which is a bit
Mhm.
boring, really.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've got two boys too, and same thing. They got into high school and I was like, "Oh no, what?" But
Yeah, what's happened?
they've mostly maintained, who they are, and they're good kids.
Yeah,
So there's
yeah.
not like, it wasn't that they were, getting in trouble or anything, but yeah, it was very
No,
much like, well, my friends are. I'm like, okay, great, good for them. Like, I don't care. And,
yeah, yeah.
and
I feel that.
yeah, like their individuality went only so far, if as long as it wasn't outside the boundaries of what was acceptable to their peers. And
Yes.
so
Yeah.
it's just been interesting to watch them morph. And now that they're both adults and like in young adulthood, it's like funny. They're like fine with standing out. They're fine with kind of claiming
Yeah.
their own personality now, and
Yeah.
being who they want to be. And it's like, okay, there you are.
Yeah. It's
Glad.
a rite of passage, isn't it? I
Yeah.
suppose it absolutely
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And but it's funny because they've always like taken an interest in my quilts. Like, they're like, "Oh, that's really cool." They'll look at it, they'll give me compliments because they know that that's the right thing to do. And but like when I was early quilting, I just made them both eat like simple patchwork quilts with like kind of
Yeah.
licensed fabric of things that they both liked, and they love those quilts and they had them on their beds every single night. And then, when
Yeah.
they graduated and moved on, I made them different quilts, and they're
Oh,
now those
amazing.
are their like protect. They're like, I don't ever I like only use this quilt right after I shower and I'm clean, and like like it's fine. You can use it. They're like, no, I don't want to ruin it. Like, they're just very protective of their quilts, which I think is so
Yeah, that's
funny. But
cool.
anyway, it's good. I love that they may not quilt, but like I just love that I can share it with them, because I don't think it would
Yeah.
like be in their lives otherwise. And so I don't know if
Yeah, that's cool.
how you feel about that, but just being able to be
Yeah,
like,
my son, he never complained, but when he was a lot younger, I suppose, he always wanted like a PlayStation game or something for
hmm
Christmas, but
hmm
he got like a quilt. And
hmm
he did get some stuff he wanted.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then he got to about 17 and he didn't want to he was getting his own PlayStation games at that point, but he wanted beer for Christmas. He wanted like a slab of beer, and I was like, no, you can have a quilt. So he's always had quilts, but now I think now he's what is he 22? He's he's he appreciates them now. And
Yeah.
I promise he did get some stuff he wanted as well. It
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
just, he didn't just get quilts, but
Yeah. So you gotta slip those things in there. They'll be like, here's this and this quilt.
yeah, exactly that.
Yeah. That's so funny. That's so funny. Well, I guess, yeah, are you full-time in textile now? Are you still web designing? Like what's your
No, well, so last year, after I'd worked for one of the large supermarkets here in the UK for doing web design and I eventually climbed the greasy management pole, right? And I was like a middle manager in a very
Mm.
corporate job, and I'd dodged several rounds of redundancies over the years, but last year they finally caught up with me in November.
Dang.
So, well, yes and no.
Yeah, right.
Listen, to be fair, the job was slowly killing me, and
Mm.
I can't knock it too much because it helped support myself and my son, and it paid the bills, and it enabled me to travel, and so there was a regular paycheck, etc. So there was lots of good things about it, but I'd been there too long and I'd become very institutionalized. I'd been there over 20 years. But yeah, they made me redundant last November. So I've almost been a year now,
Oh wow.
which is interesting. It's been an interesting year. But it's enabled me to do lots of different stuff. So I do have a part-time job doing social media
Hmm.
for a small shop in town near where I live. But I've tried to make the best use of the time. So I've been trying to do more quilting. I've
Hmm.
been doing my screen printing, and it's just enabled me to spend more time doing that kind of stuff. I've had to change I didn't have a particularly flamboyant lifestyle. I wasn't some kind of international playboy, but I did, you know, I went on holidays and stuff. So I've had a bit of a change in lifestyle, and I've cut back, and
Hmm.
I'm happier than I have been for a while. So some days I wake up and I think, right, I need to get my CV sorted and get a new corporate job because I've
Hmm.
got no money. And then I read those job descriptions and they make me feel sick.
Yeah.
I know what the words in them mean. They're all just bullshit. And
Hmm.
I can't go back to a corporate job. I've kind of decided. And then some days I wake up and these are the good days. And I think this is a brilliant opportunity.
Hmm.
I've got free time. I can do what I want and I can concentrate on something that I love. And I suppose the truth of the situation is somewhere in between the two.
Hmm.
That I do need obviously a regular income. I'm nowhere near old enough to retire yet.
Yeah.
Um, I'm just figuring it out really, and I'm just trying to take it easy and not put any pressure on myself. As I said, I did over 20 years in this one job. So
Yeah.
I think I've given myself, I haven't got a fixed time on what I'm going to do really. I'm just going to see how it goes.
Hmm.
Um, but I am trying to keep busy and I am trying to have a bit of structure to my life. So
Yeah.
yeah. So not full-time quilting. And the other problem is that when it comes to my art stuff and my quilting stuff, I'm not the most commercially minded person,
Hmm.
which isn't that helpful really. So what I need to do is try and understand, because what I don't want to do is turn something that I love into something into too much like work
Yeah.
where it becomes stressful and it becomes a pain in the ass, because I want to still enjoy it and I don't want to kind of just turn it into work. So I'm working on what I'm doing is working on the balance and what that looks like really.
Yeah. And that, like, as someone who turned quilting from my hobby to business, it's super hard to find that balance of like maintaining and making it something you still love while also
Yeah,
selling your skills and your wares to other people. So I think it can be a tricky balance for
yeah,
sure.
absolutely. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. I think it's hard too. Like once you step out of the corporate world, it's like, ooh, I can't ever go back into it, you know?
Oh, I can't go back. I can't go back.
Yeah.
The thought of it fills me with dread.
Yeah.
It really does. I can't go back. I don't think they want me back,
Right.
which is good.
Right.
But yeah, I can't go back.
Yeah. It's hard. And Oh, my husband's in the same boat. You guys are the same age, so it's he's like,
Okay.
I can't retire yet. Like, we can't retire. We need more money, but also like he just changed careers again. So now he's a counselor.
Oh,
And
okay.
like, but even that, it's like if you work for an agency that like takes on like tougher cases, like it's not self-directed usually, it's like court
Right.
ordered or, you know,
Okay.
whatever.
Wow, that is
That's
challenging. Yeah.
very corporate too, because you have to do all this
Yeah.
exact paperwork for the insurance companies. You have to do all these like very specific
Yeah.
things. And he's like, oh my God, I don't want to do this part. I just,
Yeah.
it's the paperwork. And once he gets to work with people, it's fine. But anyway,
Yeah.
it's
Well, the
just
thing is
funny.
about quilting, the thing is about my quilting that I particularly liked, particularly compared to work, is that I can make a quilt, right? And
Hmm.
people can like it or they can not like it.
Hmm.
But that's kind of down to me. Whereas at work, people are like, no, do it like this. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll do it like that. With my quilting, I can,
Right.
it's down to me. And that's what I like about it. That's what I really like about it.
Yeah.
It's just that kind of choice. And I suppose, yeah, I don't really want to lose that because that's the fun bit for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it would seem, after 20 years of being directed and being told how, like,
Yeah.
use your creativity, use your skills, but only in the way that we want you
Yeah,
to
exactly
then
that.
be in mostly a fully self-directed situation. Like, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah. It's hard. It's gone from one extreme to the other really, which is strange.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I'm enjoying it, and I get to do my jogging. I go for a jog most mornings, so I'm fitter and healthier and happier.
Yeah.
So you know, the, although poorer, but there you go.
I mean, is money really everything? Yes, it's hard. You can't survive without money, but at the
No,
end of the
but
day, it's like if you're happier and you're healthier and
yeah, these
you
are
know,
things that you shouldn't take for granted, and they're
right.
important.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I left teaching because I was so ill all the time, and not
yeah,
just like with viruses or bacteria, whatever, like a
yeah,
cold
yeah,
or the
yeah.
flu. It was like mm, I had all this other stuff going on. So it was just like, but when I left it, like most of it went away. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Being in a super stressful environment is not good for me. So,
No, well, exactly.
okay. So you said you like to pull fabric from multiple resources and, reuse things,
Yes.
recycle things, upcycle things. So, um, what is your favorite type of fabric to work with? Like, what do you see, like when you're at the charity shop, like when you see something, like what's the thing that makes you most excited?
Oh, the best thing there's two things I love at the charity shop, which is men's shirts. So men's cotton shirts, you can get
Hmm.
so much fabric from those, and and a small is the same size as like a triple XL. It's the same price rather. So you
Yeah.
get a ton of fabric, and you can get some really interesting prints, some really bold prints, and you can if so men's shirts is the first section I go to, but then I also look in the ladies section because I love big florals and I like to combine. My quilts are really about contrast, I suppose,
Hmm.
and so I like combining like a corporate work shirt with a big
Hmm.
floral, and that's what I like about my quilts, and that's what I like to do. So really, I look through the whole shop, and if it's cotton or poly cotton, and or I'll feel it and I'll think, well, okay, I can use that. So I don't worry if it's not 100% cotton.
Hmm.
I'll because I kind of think that these garments have all been washed a bazillion times. And in
Right.
my quilts, they kind of I just do a lot of hand quilting really. So they after a while they behave themselves and they're fine. I've
Hmm.
never had any problems. So I just really go for prints and colors and patterns that I like. So some days I come home empty-handed. Some days I come home with like bags of stuff, and I'm on a bit of a embargo at the moment because I've just got my stash is just it's just out of control.
Yeah.
And so where I've been running classes, I've been taking fabric and forcing it on people to take it away because I've just got too much. I need to clear some of it out. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
but then there's a flea market in Huddersfield as well. So I live in Huddersfield, which is this tiny. It's not tiny. It's a smallish town in West Yorkshire, and it's just in between Leeds and Manchester.
Okay.
geographically, and we have a Saturday kind of, it's like a flea market, I suppose. And some weeks you can go and it's rubbish, and some weeks you can
Hmm.
go and it's amazing. And you can find fabric and all sorts of stuff. And
Hmm.
I just it's such good value. People often don't know the value of, or they think it's not worth anything, but to me it's priceless. So
Yeah.
it's quite good having a hobby where something it works like that, because you don't have to
Yeah.
spend a lot of money. I think you can make a beautiful quilt on, you know, very reasonably. You don't have to buy the latest fabric range that whatever super designer has released.
Yeah.
And you certainly don't have to buy Liberty. You don't have to buy, you can make a practical quilt, because all my quilts get used as well. They all
Yeah.
go on the bed and stuff, etc.
Hmm.
You can make a really beautiful quilt for pence, really.
Yeah.
So, so
That's
that's
true.
kind of, yeah. So I love charity shops, and I read a lot as well. So my main destination is men's shirts, then like women's dresses, and then the book sections. I love, I can't get
Yeah.
enough of books. So
Yeah.
and I like buying. If there's an art book, I'll tend to buy it. But I've also got a, this is ridiculous, but I like a bit of detective fiction and kind of like
Yeah.
spy fiction and soldier fiction.
Hmm.
That's a thing. Army stories, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Just kind of like airport novels. You know what I mean? Kind of
Yeah.
just something that's just easy to read. So
Hmm.
that's my guilty pleasure, I suppose. Like trashy kind of.
I don't think you have to feel guilty about it. I think, like, uh, I mean, I read fantasy, like dragons and fairies, and
Oh, okay.
I love
Fair
that stuff.
enough.
So
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's just a way for our imaginations to stay active. And I think that's where a lot of creativity comes from too. At least for me, like I'll read about, they'll be describing a scene or like a room and the colors and the feel of it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that would make a beautiful quilt. And so I like kind of write down the colors and try to go,
Oh,
find
okay.
something that would match like color swatches and pull things together. And it just gives me ideas for different things outside of that, that fictional world. But I don't think there's anything wrong with. I, I hate when people shame other people for what they read. I'm like, you're reading. Who cares? Like, who cares? You're
Yeah,
reading. That's all
that's
that
what I
matters.
think.
Yeah.
I have got like I have several books on the go at any one time, really. And unfortunately, I've got like what I suppose people might say are classics, but they don't get as much attention as the kind of like Frederick Forsyth kind of
Yeah.
thrillers. But,
Yeah.
but yeah, but it is, yeah, you're right. It's better to be reading than
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
And it's a
Absolutely.
way to keep my brain a bit more active as well. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, if I'm reading a book, I can't be also scrolling social media or watching a show. Like, I have to be in my book.
Yeah.
So it's a way to also keep me off of the stuff that rots my brain. So,
Yes,
um,
absolutely.
I fully support it. I fully support it. I love it. And mysteries and like with twists and turns is so fun because I love to like predict things or see if I'm like, oh, I think
Oh,
that this
okay.
is the thing. And then I love to see if I'm wrong or right. Cause like I can pick up patterns really quickly. I think that's like my tism. But like I was just reading a novel with some friends and it was like a loose book club where we just kind of all
Okay.
read at our own pace or whatever. But immediately I was like, oh, I know exactly what happened. And um one of my friends was like a little bit farther behind from us and she's like, don't say anything, don't say anything. And then at one point she's like, wait, is this, she's like, just say yes or no. Is this, this and this, is this person? And I'm like, yes. And she was like, I freaking knew it. And I was like, oh, I'm so glad to like get to read with
What
friends who
book is
also
it?
love to read. It's called The Silent Sister.
Oh, okay.
It's a mystery kind of.
Right. Okay.
It was good. I really enjoyed it. It was just fun to like
Yeah.
be proven correct. Sometimes I'm super wrong. I'm like, I did not see that coming, which I love because then it's a total surprise. But even when
Yeah, it
it's,
is nice to be right occasionally.
yeah, but when I write, I still love to like see how they pull it all together and like see where their head was at and like understand
Yeah.
like where they were going with different parts of the story. And anyway, so I'm with you. I love reading. I think it's so good for our brains and healthy for our imaginations. And I think it's silly for people to judge other people for reading. I'm like, just you're reading a book.
Yeah.
Who cares? Who
Yeah. Who
cares?
cares what it is? Yeah, you're right.
Like, oh, don't read that author, they're terrible. And granted, there are some people with some real shitty takes on life, and I wouldn't be caught dead reading certain
Yeah.
authors because of who they are publicly. And but then, you know, there's others who I love what they stand for, but I don't like their writing style. So it's just like it doesn't matter. Like everybody has different tastes in whatever they like. So and the thrift shops are perfect place to find books because people just are like, oh, I'm tired of these, and they dump them off, and you're like, what? They're
Yeah.
perfectly good and they look good on the bookshelf, and you know.
Well, where I am, because I don't drive, so
Mm.
I walk a lot, and I also get the bus. So in the bus station, it's like they've got a couple of shelves up where people can just put books.
Oh.
There is like a donate, like an honesty box, like a donation box.
Hmm.
But sometimes I just go there and there's people. Yeah, I've left books, but I've also taken them as well. So it's really cool, and
Yeah.
people just use that as, and it's a way of recycling them. A lot of the books I read, I've like, have I read that one? Because a lot of them are similar.
Hmm.
Like I did have like a Jack Reacher phase a while
Oh
ago,
yeah.
but really it's the same thing. He turns up in a town, beats up a few people, and sorts it out, and then maybe
Yeah.
there's a love interest, maybe not, and then moves on.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
it's okay, it's fair enough. He does what he does. I'm not going to argue with him,
Right.
but it's what it is.
He wouldn't let you. He'd
No,
beat you up.
he
You
beat me
can't
up,
argue.
yeah.
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 That's so funny. Yeah,
Well,
we
the Tom Cruise Jack Reacher wouldn't,
no. No.
but the other guy, that
Yeah.
massive guy in the TV show,
Alan
wow,
Rickman, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
he would.
Yeah. We watched that. We watched that one, and because my husband
Yeah.
loves that stuff too. Like he loves shows
Oh,
like
does
that
he?
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's not a big reader, but he loves a good TV show or a good movie. So we're always like watching something. And
Yeah.
but yeah, we watch Reacher, and it's just so cheeseball fun. Like it's a good
Yeah,
time.
it is. Yeah.
Because yeah, it is. He turns up, trouble happens, he beats people up, solves the problem, and then they move on. And it's like, wow, what a nice little package.
Yeah,
Tie with
but
a bow.
it really is the same book every time, isn't it? But
Yeah.
he's done well out of it, so why not? Why
Yeah.
not?
It's fun. And I think it's more of like the like if you identify with the character or you enjoy their personality, the personality
Yeah.
that the author gave them, and getting into that world is, even if it's kind of the same formula over again, it's still a fun time.
Yeah, if it's not broke, don't, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just here to be entertained, and if I feel entertained, then it was worth it. So
Absolutely.
I think
Absolutely.
that's I stole that from my friend that directly, but that's been kind of my view on life as an adult, is just like, I'm just here to enjoy my existence, and sometimes I'm not going to like everything that happens, but if I can find some mild enjoyment or amusement out of something, then it was
Yeah.
not wasted time. So
Yeah, absolutely.
it's it makes, so my husband's like, you never get bored, you never. I'm like, no, like being bored is for boring people. Like find something to
Yeah.
think about. Find, like, I make up
Yeah,
stories
try
about
something. Look at
people in my
something.
head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I like, I'll be sitting in the car shop waiting for my tires to get rotated on my car, and like the people in the waiting room, and I just make up stories about who they are in my head, and like not judging
Wow.
them in any way, just like thinking like,
Yeah.
what kind of job would this person have? Like what do they do when they go home after work? Like just thinking
Yeah, but
about, and
people watching, you can't
yeah,
beat
yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so fun. But
Yeah.
anyway, um, but yeah, I pull some inspiration for my makes from books I love and stories I love,
Yeah.
and characters. I mean, I'm basing my next birthday party off of, because it's a milestone. So I'm gonna have, I don't really do big birthdays unless it's like a big
No,
age
same.
jump. So um but I'm basing it off of a character in like a book series that I love, and it's very like
Oh, okay.
moody forest, dark greens and blacks, and kind of
Oh,
like
wow.
witchy vibes, but also fairy
Right.
magic. And so I'm like so excited because it's like I've got this whole vision in my head now because I got to
Yeah.
live
That
inside
sounds
those
amazing.
books for a while. And like, oh, maybe I need to also make myself a quilt for my birthday using those same colors. And I'm just like thinking of all these
Yeah.
other silly things. Like, do I need to make myself a whole outfit? Probably. It's fine.
Yeah, it feels like you do. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
definitely.
But it's like I have the skills to do that and translate
Yeah.
it into something, into textile, like different
Yeah.
things. And so I'm just, do you like, yeah, do you feel inspired by anything you read ever to like make, or does it help you pull certain types of
I think
fabrics?
I I think I'm more take inspiration from visual things, but
Mhm.
that absolutely applies. So I do buy a lot of art books, and I'll I, I find a lot of color inspiration from those. But really, I
Mm,
think I'm quite a visual person. So now I always have my phone with me, so I can always take pictures. But
mhm.
yeah. So I'll go to lots of exhibitions and stuff, and I'll try and force myself to see different things and go and try like I'm just doing this thing at the moment with the I've made my own Play-Doh
Oh,
from flour and oil and water and salt, and
yeah.
I'm I've made it right, and you press it on something that's textured, and then you
Yeah.
put it on one of those ink pads, and then you can print with it. It's amazing. I've got these all these different textures that I've found,
Oh,
and so this is going to become a zine. So I'm going to make a zine of
oh,
textures, which
okay.
I think is exciting. But
Yeah. No,
and
that's so
so
cool.
I'm gonna it's gonna be Riso printed. So with Riso printing, you can have like you get 4 different colors on the machine where I go,
Hmm.
and so they're blue, yellow, pink, and black. And
Hmm.
yeah, I've got all these different textures, like car badges and fingerprints and all sorts of stuff that I've just found around the house, really.
Yeah.
So that's this week's project. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
so and I just saw there was a person I saw they were doing it on Instagram, and I thought, right, I'll have a go. And
Yeah.
it's a very cheap and fun thing to do. So
Hmm.
that's just, but then that might lead to something that could easily become any of those textures could easily find its way. Like there's a bit of a flower happening there. I don't know if you can see it,
Yeah.
but
Hmm.
that could easily find its way into some of my screen printing. And so I think trying different things and the results might not be spectacular, but I think you can try them and you can see how that might inform some of your other practice. And it
Yeah.
might just be some colors you use or anything. It could be anything really. So yeah,
Yeah.
I get inspiration from everywhere really.
Yeah. Yeah. That's incredible. And what a genius way to use homemade Play-Doh because
Oh yeah,
I
exactly.
how many times have I made it and like that never occurred to
Yeah.
me to like to
No, it
print with
hadn't to
it.
me until I saw this person doing it on Instagram. And I'm going to a gig on Thursday night, punk gig. And so I'm
Ooh.
going to make it into it's going to be a zine,
Uh-huh.
and I'm going to give them away at the gig.
Oh, nice.
Just as because zines are quite punky things, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's super
I'm gonna
punk.
do that, and yeah,
Oh, that's such
and
a good idea.
yeah. So I'm gonna see. People might not want it, but they're gonna get one regardless. So
Yeah. Be like, just put it in your pocket, take it home. You'll
just
like it
take it.
later. Just take
Yeah,
it.
look at it later. Exactly. So
No, that's
I'm
so smart.
excited about that. I'm
Yeah.
excited. And then so now this is interesting as well. So, but I think it is. So there's no reason, right? So it's A3. You don't know if A3 and A4. Do you have A3 and A4? Are they paper sizes in the States, or do you do different sizing?
They just say like there's like legal, which is long and
Oh yeah,
tall,
okay, so
but
it's
then like
different.
then just like standard, which is 8.5 inches by 11 inches, like notebook size.
Yeah, I think that's A4. So
Yeah,
we
I
have
think I
anyway.
think it is.
Yeah,
I think it
I
is.
think
Yeah.
it's A4, but this is A3, right? But
Yeah.
there's no reason why this couldn't be a bit bigger, and so it's going to be a zine. It's going to be folded up, but
Uh-huh.
picture this: a fabric zine.
Yeah.
So it could be right. This is some of the fabric I've been working on. So I'm thinking
Yes.
I could cut that to that size and fold it in the same way I'm going to fold that. And that's going to be like a little project, a little
Yeah.
fabric zine that I send to people who
Hmm.
again might not want it, but they can have a look at it
Yeah.
as a zine. And then once they've had a look at it, they can cut it up and put it into a quilt.
Yeah.
That's my
Exactly.
that's where that project is heading. So it's
That's
like
that's really cool.
the working title is Fabazine or Fabric Zine or something like that. I haven't
Yeah.
quite refined that bit, but that's where we're going with that.
I like Fabrazine. That's fun. That's a
Yeah,
fun word to say.
it is a fun word to say, isn't it? It's probably
Yeah.
why I quite like it. So
Yeah.
that's that. But
How
yeah,
fun. That's such a fun idea. And yeah, to like screen print your own fabric and then turn it into a zine that
yeah.
people can
Well,
then use.
here's the aforementioned sweatshirt.
Yes, Sabrina.
Yeah, the Sabrina sweatshirt. So I don't mind her music. It's okay. She's quite interesting, I think.
Yeah.
And I quite like the punkiness of the print, where it's a kind of
Yes.
half-tone image,
Yeah.
and you can't. It's she's hiding in a flower, but you don't really see it until you actually know it's her,
Mm-hmm.
which I kind of quite like.
Yeah.
So she's made it onto that sweater, but she's also made it into this print somewhere. Where is it? So you can't quite see it as clearly, but that image
Okay.
is it's been
Yeah.
overprinted, and I've printed a color over it. So that's all kind of happening, and that's all very influenced by um, punk zines from the 70s and 80s. And I love
Yeah.
that kind of analog printing and lo-fi graphic style. That's
Yeah.
something that I'm really into. And I like the kind of I like the whole punk ethos really of just doing something and making it and
Yeah.
getting on with it and not just buying something. Rather have a go, make it yourself,
Yeah.
and see what happens. That's my kind of approach, I suppose, behind my screen printing, but also my quilting.
Yeah. Because it's
So
it's punk rock to like not give in to the corporations and
absolutely,
buy the
absolutely.
next latest and greatest just because it's new and
Yeah,
and nice and pretty. It's like, no, I'm gonna actually go find something that's like
yeah,
needs repair, needs
yeah,
someone's throwing away, and I'm gonna turn it into a treasure and make it something new. And
yeah. So this quilt, here's a,
yeah,
have a look at the quilt. So this quilt it's a big quilt, right? You're not gonna be able to see it. I'll send you a picture of it. But
yeah.
where is this is all made from at the market. They had um, there's one of the stall holders had bought a shipping container of he does house clearances, but he doesn't. He was doing this house clearance, and it's from Japan. Okay,
Oh,
and
okay.
so he bought this all this stuff, and he sold a lot of the furniture at one of the big antique shows in the UK. And
Mm-hmm.
he was left. He had this box of fabric left. He brought it to Huddersfield, and I was like, "Oh, okay, wow. I am he doesn't, and he charged me like a tenner, £10, which is what about I don't know, $15 on a good day. So
Mm-hmm.
I got all this fabric, and it's just beautiful. And the other
Wow.
day, a hole had worn in it, but you can see
Oh,
here I've just kind of big
yeah.
stitch quilted a patch on it,
Perfect.
and I thought that's quite cool, and I just love how that's not going anywhere. That's going to be on there, and that'll
Yeah.
go back into circulation and get used. So that's and then on the back, I do have a thing for these big kind of old-fashioned florals.
They're so beautiful.
But they're really cool. But then I like to mix it with like
Oh,
there's like
okay.
one of my son's old duvets. Like it's a Marvel Comics one. I think it's Wolverine. He's there
Oh,
somewhere.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
kind of see him.
Yeah.
So that's a quilt that is being worked on at the moment. So that's exciting. And
Yeah.
then the other thing I've been working on is my overprinted fabric. So again, this fabric.
Ooh.
So it started off life as like a 90s beige kind of Sanderson big floral.
Mm-hmm.
But then, so I dyed it. You can't really see the color that well outside. The color, I
Ooh.
dyed it bright pink just with
Mm-hmm.
Rit dye. And
Okay.
then you can see like these little crosses and stuff and the
Mm-hmm.
circles. That's just a potato print.
Oh, okay.
So I,
Yeah.
so I potato printed it. And then you can see kind of where there's like a line drawing of
Mm-hmm.
flowers and stuff. Um, I put that and screen printed over it. So that's that color. But then I did it on like this green.
Oh,
So you can see the background. It's kind of like a classic burnishing fabric, but I've
yeah.
over printed it and changed it, which
Yeah.
I find quite interesting.
That's fun. And just giving it new life. And
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it. So I had a little exhibition of that because where I work, it's an art shop, and they have a little studio space, and you can because I work there, I get the space for free. So I had a little pop-up exhibition,
oh,
and so
wow.
it was only for a few days, and I went and I sat in this room, and I had all my fabric up, and I just sat and I was working on fixing that quilt, and I was just doing quilting stuff, and it was amazing for a few days.
Yeah.
And I didn't have tons of visitors, but people did come and they were interested. So I think
Yeah.
a fabric exhibition is quite a hard sell when you've got lots of other demands on people's time.
Sure.
But I was just pleased that I did it. And for me, that's the
Yeah.
important thing, is actually doing something, because I could have easily just sat on my ass at home and not done anything, and just like, yeah, I could have just watched TikToks all night, but
Right.
which is easily done.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I tried, and I think
Yeah.
that's important.
Yeah,
But yeah,
exactly. Putting yourself out
that's
there. And
yeah, exactly. That's happening. And then I've got sorry, I've gone into just telling you about what I'm working on.
no, it's good. I love this. That's why we're here.
This this is the African wax Christmas bauble project.
Ooh.
So that is, I've always liked African wax printing.
Hmm.
It's in a lot of my quilts. That's a smaller one. But we have there's a textile recycling hub in Huddersfield called Fred Republic, and they commissioned me to do some Christmas baubles, and they had all these scraps, and I just kind of made these, but I really like them, and I think they look
Yeah.
quite effective. So I'm doing a class on that soon, and there's
Oh,
some stuff
fun.
about that on my Instagram and everything. So yeah, that's all
Okay.
happening.
That's the
The other thing that's exciting is my latest Aurifil collection. You can
yes.
see me there. Look,
Hmm.
I'm always awkward in photos. I haven't. It's now become my selling point rather than a weakness. I'm just awkward in photos. But this is a collaboration with Sally Kelley, who is a textile designer. She used to work for Liberty, so her work is. I don't know if you've seen her fabrics, but they're beautiful.
Hmm.
Very illustrative, and she's very cool. And so I just thought, and she she started following me on Instagram, and she saw that I used scraps. So she just sent me this massive box of scraps of her fabric. So it was, yeah, exactly. It was amazing. And
Wow.
I just, I suppose, the past few years, we've just become friends. We've never actually met. And, the
Hmm.
UK is not that big a place. But we hadn't met. But then we met at Festival of Quilts. So this collaboration happened virtually. We chose 5 colors each. And yeah, we just had a really good time
That's awesome.
just creating something together that was really quite interesting. So that's fun.
Yeah.
So
That's so
I
fun.
have kept myself busy in this year off. Oh, and the other thing, where's that gone? Oh, the other thing was, so are you familiar with Uppercase magazine?
Yeah.
So I was doing my design. So this is one of my sketchbooks for my fabric designs, because that's what I want to get into. So I've got like all different things I'm working on,
Wow.
drawings and stuff, and colors and
Yeah.
everything. And anyway, they have every couple of years they do a surface pattern design guide, and I submitted for it, and I didn't really think I had a chance of getting in, but I did, and I was
Mm.
blown away. So you can see that's
Oh
my
my
little feature
gosh.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And the really exciting thing was that as part of it, I won a prize, which was enrollment onto Sarah Watts, her from paint to pattern course.
Yeah.
So, which is super exciting. So we're into week 2 of that, and
Okay.
so she designs for like Ruby Star Society and stuff, places like that. So that's
Hmm.
exciting. So I've been working on new designs,
Oh my gosh. Ooh. Yeah.
and it's all super exciting. And something. It's the irony is that I reckon more or less the course. It's a 10-week course,
Hmm.
and we're into week 2, and I think it'll more or less finish around the week that I got made redundant last year, which I believe is the unit. Now I might just be kidding myself here, but I
No.
believe that is the universe telling me something, that I am on the
Yeah.
right track,
Yeah.
and it who knows what it'll result in. But
Right.
I've committed to it. I'm going to do it, and I'm excited. So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see. It may lead to nothing, equally it could lead to who knows.
No.
So that is a very brief kind of synopsis of all the different things I'm working on.
Yeah. No, that's
So it's
amazing.
quite,
And it's good because like you said, it's like, what are you going to do now? Are you going to waste this time that you've been given because you got let go from your job?
yeah,
Or are you going to really use it, fill up your time and do the things that you want to do while you have the opportunity to do it? And I think looking at these times of and saying you could wallow, you could be depressed and sad and oh,
yeah,
they didn't want me. It's like, no, this is it, the universe is giving you a gift. Like, here you go, buddy.
Yes,
You can spend your time doing what you want now.
exactly. Oh,
And
listen, I do have those days when I do feel a bit fed up, but equally,
sure.
I, I have days like last week where I was at the because I'm super fortunate as well. There are a lot of things that have happened, and it feels like I don't know. It's too much to be a coincidence. So there's a print workshop just near me, and it's like an open access thing.
Mm.
And it just so happened, and I don't even know why they did it because I'm not sure there's the demand for it, but they have recently installed a 3 meter long textile printing table. Now,
Ooh.
I mean, it's just that could have happened anywhere in the country. So it happened within a 10-minute bus ride from me. So I'm
Mm.
taking that as another sign. So
Yeah.
that's where I've been, and that's where I've printed all these lengths of fabric. Because otherwise, it's a proper pain to print a length of fabric. But they've got a special table, and I've got my own screen, and I just go, and
Yeah.
it's really good value. You go and you pay for either a half a day or a full day,
Okay.
and you can just go and use the facility, and it's just amazing. So to have that on my doorstep is just incredible, really.
Yeah.
So I'm just again, I'm taking all these things as positive indicators that this is meant to be.
Yeah. I love
Um,
that. And I'm a huge believer that your life will show you where you're supposed to be if you have the guts to listen, and things like
yeah,
that, all these little opportunities popping up and continuing to put themselves in front of you. To me, and yeah, sounds like you too, it's just more confirmation that
yeah,
you're on a path that you're supposed to be on. And I, like I talk about all the time, saying like if you're doing something and it is so hard and you feel like you just keep running into obstacle after obstacle after obstacle, maybe take a step back and look at
yeah,
what's going on. Like, why is this so hard? And what are you avoiding? Like, for me, it's usually because I'm avoiding the right path. Like, it's something that would be hard, and so I'm kind of just trying to steer around it. And life keeps putting me right back on that path, and I keep trying to avoid it. And then as soon as I like face that thing I'm scared of or that I'm nervous about, it's like, oh, everything eases back up again. It's like,
yeah.
not to say that there aren't challenges
No, agreed.
within that as
Yeah, I
well.
get that completely.
It's just the challenges are opportunities that help me grow and help me move forward versus something
Yeah,
that just keeps me stuck or keeps me cycling in the same stupid behavior cycles
yeah.
that make me
I
feel
thought, yeah,
crazy. So
yeah,
I'm with you. I think that's same thing. I question myself every day still. Like, I haven't been in a corporate environment for 4 years, and I'm still like, is this the right thing to do? But people keep showing up to hire me or to, come on the show, or, it's like,
yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
it's like just when I kind of think like, I don't know, is this dying down? It's like, nope, just kidding. It's not.
Yeah,
So uh, I think self-doubt is natural because we want to always, I think we naturally want to be in situations that are pushing us for growth when it's time, but it's also hard to like push yourself out of your comfort zone all the time and do what is.
it is. It takes a lot of energy as well.
Mhm.
And, I don't think anyone, well, some people perhaps can do it all the time, but for
Mm,
me,
no.
I have to replenish. And,
Mhm.
but then equally, you do have to force yourself a little bit to do it and put yourself out there, which doesn't always come naturally to me. It's not, I'm quite
No.
reserved, really, I suppose. But for some people, it seems to come natural, but I don't think it does. I think some
Yeah.
people are just better at forcing themselves to do stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's all absolutely doable because
Yeah.
I sent all I had to do to get into. I say all. I just to get into that magazine. I thought right, I'll do it, and I thought, well, should I do it today? And I put it off for a bit, and then the deadline was looming. And I thought, what are you doing? Just
Just do
take
it.
the pictures, save the files, and just do it.
Yeah.
The worst that could happen was I wouldn't hear anything back, and that's not the end of the world. I've had bigger rejections than that, so you can.
Right.
You just get on with it really at the end of the day, and
Yeah.
you have to try because somebody has to go into that magazine, and it might as well be me.
Right. Exactly. If it
So
wasn't you, it would be somebody else, but it gets to be you
yeah,
because you put yourself out there and you showed them what you have to offer and they liked it. So it's like
yeah,
eh, I think that's part. can be part of the like internal conversation that's being had, like, well, someone else will fill that spot. They're not going to accept
Yeah,
me. Like there's going to be somebody better, but it's like, yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe they've had more formal training or maybe they've done it for longer, but it's about the story that's being told within that and like the personality coming through your work. And if it's there, if it's authentic and genuine, like it's always going to speak louder than someone who has like streamlined and corporatized their own art. Like,
yeah, yeah,
so
absolutely. Yeah,
I like it. I like it.
thanks.
The
So
universe is telling you something good.
it is, yeah. So I'm, yeah, like I said, I'm keeping myself busy and I'm enjoying it. So that's the main thing, I think. And I'll think about the bills and everything later.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, like, oh, I'll pay that later. It's fine.
Yeah, it's
I'm
fine.
busy. I'm busy.
Yeah, I'm creating. Do you mind?
Yeah. Like you can take a back seat. I'm doing something. Uh, Yeah. And that can be also tricky, but I think there's also creative ways to exist within the creative space and not, yeah, paying bills. It doesn't matter where you're at, who you are, what you got to
No, you've
do.
still got to pay them.
You still got to pay the bills. You got to have somewhere to live. You got to have food to eat. And it's, that's like kind of the self-employment nightmare.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, and that's why having the part-time job is quite handy, really, because there's a little bit of income coming in just to keep things ticking over. So, and I don't, and it's at the art shop, so I get the studio space, and I
Mhm.
get discount on art materials, which is a blessing and a curse as well, because
Yeah.
every time I'm there, I'm like, I need that, and
Hmm.
I don't need it at all. But
Yeah.
there's temptation every day.
Oh yeah.
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 So,
Yeah.
I have to show some restraint, which is not my strongest point. But yeah, it's good because
Hmm.
I get to see new stuff and that's exciting and try
Yeah.
out new art materials. So there's, every cloud, etc.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I worked in a quilt shop for a little bit, and it was the
Oh,
same
okay.
thing. I was like, oh, I need this fabric. Oh, I need that. And it eventually died down for me, I think, because I was around it all the time. So I didn't feel
Yes,
like,
you
oh,
get
this
used
is
to it,
new.
don't you?
I have to get it right now because it's new. And it's like, oh, I can wait. I can wait. And then, 6 months later, it's still there on the shelf and I can buy it when I'm ready versus
Yeah,
feeling that need it
yeah,
to get it immediately. And yeah, the discount was nice, but I think, yeah, eventually I was kind of like, okay, I'm fine,
yeah, yeah. I do.
I'll be
Yeah,
fine, you know
I'm
but
exactly the same.
yeah.
Perhaps not quite as far along as you, but yeah, I'm getting there.
Yeah, it's hard though, because it's so tempting to be in a space that is full of all the things that you love and that help you do the thing you love. So it's kind of like, I need this new ruler, I need this new,
Yeah, because
pair of scissors.
I didn't even know. Like I showed you my sketchbook briefly. I didn't
Yeah,
even know that you could get like these concertina sketchbooks.
I didn't know that either.
Isn't that the most? Look at that. And I tell you why I particularly love it because, like for fabric design,
Yeah.
that is kind of like the right proportion,
Uh-huh.
and it's a concertina, and it just
That's
opens.
fantastic.
It's cool, isn't it?
That's
And you can
really
get them in all
cool.
different sizes. You can get them all
Yeah.
different sizes. And so I had to have one of those, which I thought was reasonable.
Yeah. No, it's a tool, right? And that's
And
I
I've
think
used it.
exactly. It's almost full. I mean, you need another one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always like a justification. I'm like, well, I could use this in my business. I'm like, do I really need a 17th ruler? Probably not,
Yeah. No, that's yeah. But yeah, I am using it. So
That's good.
and if I do buy stuff, it does force me to use it. Because I'm not the kind of person that would just buy stuff and have it sat there. And that applies to art materials and fabric and everything. I do try and force myself to use it.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I'm
stuff
kind of,
does get used.
yeah. I think I was in a phase where I just was like, all the new lines, I would get some because I just wanted to have it. And then now I'm
Yeah.
to this point where I have all this fabric, no time to not no time, but not enough time to use all of the fabric I've
Mm.
purchased in the frequency with which they are being released, these, new
Yeah.
lines of fabric. And so it's really, really made me pull back and go, okay, I just need to use what I have.
Yeah.
And I bought these for a reason. I wanted to use them. I'm going to use them.
Yeah. I'm the
And
same.
slow process, but also even for the business, I convinced myself to buy stuff for my business. I'm like, I don't need this because it's like, well, I want to have backings on hand for clients for when I long arm for them, but 9 times out of 10, they don't want what I have on hand. So, eh,
Right.
and or they bring their own, and it's fine, and I don't need
Yeah.
to provide a backing. It's so it definitely made me go, what am I doing? What am I doing? So it's and going through my scrap bins, and I even put bags of my scraps for sale on my website because I'm like, I'm not going to use these, but I know someone will, and they're just in
Yeah.
color families. So if people want a bag of blue fabrics, here you go. A little
Yeah.
bag of
Perfect.
black and white fabrics, here you go. It's like
Yeah.
it,
Absolutely.
it's just helped me free up my brain space because I think if you have too much stuff around, too many options or opportunities, it's almost too overwhelming
It
to.
can be, yeah. It really can be. I've got I don't like I've in my loft room, that's where I keep all my fabric, and I it's a mess. It's a disaster zone. There's just fabric everywhere. There's no even a real attempt at storage. It's it's just kind of it's just kind of everywhere. And I kind of tell myself that it is it's auditioning itself. So if something happens, if I go up there and I think, right, I'm going to do a fabric pull for a quilt, and I'll look and I'll try and find a way through it. And sometimes fabrics do find themselves next to each other, and I think, yeah, that's going to work. So it kind of that's my theory, and that's what I'm sticking to as a story. So
I like it.
there we are.
It's it's kind of because sometimes you won't think about certain combinations until they're just sitting right next to each other and you go, wait a second,
Yeah,
that actually
exactly.
works.
Yeah, it's a very informal, haphazard way of doing it. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
that's so fun. I love that. Okay, so what was I going to ask you about? Oh, because you're doing the Bauble Lab, which you showed us the Christmas baubles.
Yes,
Um, you're doing that this year, and you said you're teaching the class. So is it an online thing or is it only in person?
it's at the moment it's in person, but we are thinking about how we bring it online. So
Okay.
that could happen. Um, it's so strange. There's a little village stroke town, probably about 5 miles from where I live, and out of all the shops it could have in it, one of them is called the African Fabric Shop.
Oh,
So who knew? And it's a tiny little village where you wouldn't expect it. So I'm doing it out of there. So
okay.
there's going to be, and it's exciting because there's two classes. One's in November and then one in December. I need to confirm the dates. And then so people are going to come along and they're going to make a bauble, but at the
Hmm.
same time, the person who runs the shop is going to talk to people who attend about the fabrics because they've all got different backstories. So it's
Yeah.
education but fun.
Yeah. I love that.
And so you get to make a bauble, use up scraps, and learn about the fabric, which I think sounds like a fun afternoon or evening
Yeah,
that I would
absolutely.
absolutely that I'd go to anyway.
Yeah, I would too.
So
That's why I'm asking because
um,
I'm like, is this something I can do at
yeah,
home or?
so yes, absolutely. So potentially yes. So
Okay.
once I've firmed up the details of how it's going to work online, then yeah, it'll be on my Instagram.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, great. Because one of the things I used to do as a teacher is I would help my students make a little Christmas bauble for to take home for the during the holiday
Oh,
break.
very cool.
And we did different things. I always got the clear kind of shatterproof ones, and
Yeah.
then we made paper beads one year. So we took like we asked families to bring in scraps of wrapping paper, and
Oh yeah.
we would like glue along it and roll it up really tiny, make beads and fill the baubles with
Oh yes.
beads.
Yeah.
We painted snowman faces on them and filled the inside with like fake snow, which was a disaster, but it was so fun. There was just
Does
stuff
sound good fun.
all over the floor, and the custodian came in and I said, I'm so sorry. I will, but what do you want? What do you want for Christmas? Like, what extra thing do you want for Christmas? And he was like, I would just really love, like, he told me like some special candy he wanted. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get that for you. I'm
Okay.
so sorry. And thank you for cleaning this up. Because it was just all over the carpet. And I was like,
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah.
But so that's just always been like a fun thing for me is to just make things for the Christmas tree and make things to
Yeah, absolutely. Why
decorate,
not? Yeah.
and fabric scraps is the perfect thing to use. And I mean the African wax prints are beautiful too. So they
Yeah.
create just a fun, colorful thing, just
I did I
interesting
did
piece.
I did teach the class at Festival of Quilts, which
Okay.
was in August, and
Yeah.
I had a big. I took like a load of different scraps, and somebody had their own, and they made a Liberty version, which
Oh,
looked really nice, looked really cool.
yeah.
So yeah, it's not just, and then somebody used like had like a mixed bag, and somebody just used a bit of everything, which looked amazing as well. So
Yeah.
it's you're not limited to one type of fabric.
Right. You can do
And
whatever.
I, yeah, you do whatever really. So
Yeah.
that's quite because because really the premise of the class wasn't about actually how you do it. It was rather it was encouraging people to experiment by putting contrasting fabrics next to each other,
Mm-hmm.
which then kind of led on to, like, if you can see one of these quilts behind
Yes.
me. Uh, like I said earlier, a lot of my quilts are about
The
contrast, so
contrast. Yeah.
it was encouraging people to experiment, putting different fabric types next to each other rather
Yeah.
than just, yeah. So there was
Yeah.
more to it than just the actual making it. You know what I mean?
Right. Which is a great exercise of good
Yes,
pushing outside of
exactly.
your comfort zone. Because I think sometimes we're like, well, if it doesn't fit within this line of colors, then I don't want it in there. And it's like, yeah, but you don't know what's going to happen if you don't
Yeah,
push
you
that
don't try.
contrast and try to see what things can come together and make something really beautiful.
Yeah, exactly that.
And I think the contrast situation is also punk because like you think of like very punkish looking things. It's like the bold lettering with the denim
Yeah,
and the sharp metals and the supple
yeah,
black leather. It's like very contrasty. So I
yes,
think
exactly.
that you kind of have a punk streak all the way through your work, which
Yeah,
I
definitely.
love.
Well, thank you. That's very nice. That's very kind of you to say so. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's so great. I love it. Okay, so we'll look for that, the Bobble Lab, because that looks like so much fun. And um what was I gonna, oh yeah, I do know of Sarah Watts. I love her so very much. So I'm so glad that you're taking her class. I have not taken it yet because surface design has not been my jam necessarily, but I love seeing what people come up with and following along with what she shares. And she's always been
Yeah,
in my top favorite fabric designers since I got
yeah.
into the
It's
quilty world. So
yeah, it's really exciting to be part of that course, and
yeah,
I'm keeping up with it and everything. So that's really cool. But yeah, and I just thought I'd give it a go and see what happened.
yeah,
I'm excited. I'm excited about it, and she's super cool.
yeah, yeah. I'm a big fan. So that's awesome. How fun for you. And we'll keep looking out for what you share and the work you're doing. And it'll be so fun to do that. So if people don't know where to find you online, where can they find you?
The best place is Instagram. I'm full English
Okay.
on Instagram because my
Okay.
surname's English, and yeah, that was the best play on words I could. I
Yeah.
kind of I do keep thinking about changing it to like Chris English Quilts or something, but it's probably too late now to change it because I've had that
Mhm.
handle for forever. So,
Yeah.
and my website is chrisenglishquilts.com.
Okay.
But then it's just really that is just a series of links to my stuff. So
Okay.
I have also restarted my TikTok page and TikTok account, but that's hard going. So yeah, Instagram's the best place.
Okay. Sweet. Well, I will put I'll put the links at least to your Instagram in the show notes so that people can find you
Yeah, thank you.
and see some of your work, and they can find you on your website or at TikTok if they want to. Um
Absolutely.
and um Yeah, so before we wrap up though, what tip or piece of advice do you have for other creatives or other makers, quilters, whoever's listening?
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's not. This isn't going to surprise anyone, and hopefully it's come through in what we've spoken about. And it's really to kind of trust your instincts and go for it. I
Mhm.
think I think this is I have a theory and it's always evolving. But I think because a lot of people get into quilting through following patterns and through looking at books,
Mhm.
it sometimes can perhaps put too much emphasis on following what's in these books. Now, the books and stuff are brilliant, and they can help you with quilting rules and getting started. But I personally, I'd always encourage people to like have a go at trusting their own color choices. When I do workshops, people are always, they either ask me, does this go with that, or what goes with what, and I'm kind of like, well, just you pick the colors that you like,
Mhm.
and that will work for you. So that is, I suppose, my advice is to absolutely trust your instinct. Don't worry about what is either fashionable or trendy or popular at the moment. By all means, absolutely look at stuff. I look at, like I said earlier, I look at loads of stuff and take
Mhm.
what you like from it. Don't you know the history of art is full of people taking inspiration from what's gone before in terms of previous artists and regurgitating it and mixing it with different stuff. So, there is, from my perspective, do that and just put your own spin on it. And just, if you've picked the color, if you've liked the color from wherever you've seen it, if you've been to the market and seen something sat next to something and you like that color combination, take a picture of it and have a go at recreating it in fabric. And it's just so, and if it doesn't matter if the fabrics aren't the exact color, if you've
Right.
seen something and you like it, sew it together and see what happens. So yeah, my advice is absolutely trust your instinct and go for it. And it's your quilt, so nobody can really tell you that it's wrong, because it isn't, frankly. So yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, I love that. That's so great. I've been leaning into that more in just in life in general, and so I love to hear you say it
Yeah.
because I think it's important, and I always think, what would my inner child like what would 7-year-old me, what would make 7-year-old me happy, or what would
Yeah.
make 12-year-old me happy, because that's the person I'm trying to impress now, not anybody else on
Yeah.
the outside, but like my own self, different versions of myself. And I think that's where those instincts come from. Like, what you like, you've just quieted that part down over the years to fit
Exactly. Yeah.
in. And so anyway.
Yeah. Each year at the Festival of Quilts, which I happen to think is the best quilt show in the world, but that's an aside. Because it's not jury, so anyone can enter. And
Okay.
so you see a very diverse range of quilts in terms of the competition quilts. And that competition, me and competition quilts, is a whole other episode, which we
Yeah.
can schedule for another time.
Yeah, yeah.
But each year, the International Quilt Museum from Nebraska, Lincoln, I think it's Lincoln, Nebraska.
Hmm.
They bring an exhibition, and it's always the one that I go and look at first.
Mm.
And it's I'd love to go to the actual museum, and that is a road trip I'm planning one day.
Mhm.
Um, but that is always inspirational. Now, some of the quilts are that are probably, they are super traditional, but I still, people often think I don't like traditional quilts. I do. To be, for the record, I absolutely love them, and
Mhm.
I just personally, I don't feel a need to then recreate that myself. But I will absolutely take elements of that quilt and then look at it and think, well, how might I use that in my own work? So
Right.
I don't want people to think I'm bad mouthing traditional quilts, because I'm absolutely not. I think they're beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, but it just goes back to one of my quilts. In fact, is it that one? Yes, look. Oh, God. Oh no, hang on. Sorry, we're having a little bit of a quilt
Show me.
disaster. So sorry, I wasn't. This quilt I got sent by my friend in the States. She sent
Hmm.
me these autograph blocks. That
Yeah.
one is Sarah Hughes. That one, hang on, who's that? That one is like Ira somebody or other. I can't quite read
Oh.
the name, but there's about 8 of them. And so I just took, they weren't quilted or anything. They just arrived as blocks. And I thought,
Hmm.
right, these are going into a quilt, because I kind of thought that's what those people would want them to do. And then
Yeah.
I juxtapose them next to some of my own piecing, and like with
Mm.
modern fabric, which is, I like this. I think it
Yeah.
works really well. So I've got these, and I was super hope, and I entered this one into Festival of Quilts, and there's a category for group quilts, and so I was very excited to put my name as the maker, but then also the names of these ladies that had done these blocks. And
Yeah.
I was just excited that they'd made it all the way from the States to here and then to be
Yeah.
in a quilt show. So yes, that was exciting. Sorry, I've gone off on a tangent.
No, that's so cool. I didn't know that you had that quilt, and that's really cool because I think, yeah, taking that ultra traditional and saying, okay, well, here's how I can add to it, and
Yeah,
here's what
exactly.
I've got to bring to the table to kind of show the difference between then and now, and like the more freedom to make something that's so bold and so much brighter and kind of outside of that traditional mindset of, well, you've got to make these specific types of blocks because that's what traditional quilting is. It's not a real quilt if it's like, no, 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 throw that in the
Yeah,
dumpster. Like, that's not how we think about quilts anymore. And so it's like going from ultra uniform to more free
yeah,
form and open and artistic and creative. And I love that. Not to say that traditional quilts aren't creative. Again, I'm not
no,
bad mouthing them because we all
no.
got here because of them.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Exactly.
there's a ton of respect and admiration for them. It's just like also at the same time. And look what
Yeah,
I can do.
it's building on it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
completely agree.
for sure. That's awesome. I know. I want to get to Festival of Quilts one day. Maybe when I live overseas, it'll be easier to
Oh well, yeah, yes, it's a lot closer
yeah.
from Europe than it is from where you are. But
Old
I
Idaho.
got to go, I got pre-COVID, I got to go to a couple of quilt cons, which I enjoyed. I
Mm,
got to go to Austin and I got to go to Nashville, which I loved both of those cities. So that was fun.
nice.
And I would like to do that again. But yeah, that goes back to my lifestyle comment about earlier. It's not,
Yeah, right. You're like,
it's an expensive trip. It was an expensive trip, but I had a good time. So that's the main thing.
yeah, yeah. You're like, who wants to sponsor me? Let's
Yeah. Well, this is the road trip idea. This is the road trip idea that I need to fully flesh out and do like a kind of trip across the states, stopping
yeah.
a bit. Now we're going back to the start of the conversation, but a little bit like Jack Reacher, but with
Yeah.
quilts.
Yeah, there you go.
No one, no one's getting beaten up.
No.
But I'll go from like town to town, sharing the magic of quilts. You know what I mean? And then it's like Jack Reacher, but for quilts.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Yeah.
the idea.
You could fund your trip by teaching classes all along the way.
Ex-
So each stop you
Yeah.
teach a class, get paid, it fuels your bank account for the next trip, and then you can go to the next place. I love
Yes.
this idea for you. I think you should do it.
But yeah, but hopefully there's no like run-ins with gangsters or anything like that, or
No,
heavies or
no,
anything like that. You know,
no.
the worst thing that happened might be that a sewing machine might break or something.
Yeah, well, knock on wood and hope that that's the case. I mean, not that we want things to break, but we don't
No,
need people coming in and roughing you up for
no,
quilting.
exactly.
That's so funny. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. And I'm so excited to share this with everybody and for people to get to know you better. And I'm glad I got to get to know you better. And
Yeah, likewise.
thank you
Thank you for
for
having me.
yeah, thank you for showing all your fun projects and what you're working on. And that just encourages people to go to the YouTube so they can see it. So if you're listening and you're like, wow, I really wish I could have seen that stuff. Yeah, go to the YouTube and you can see it. So we'll put your links down below in the show notes. And otherwise, we will keep an eye on your space to see what you've got coming up next.
Amazing.